Welcome to the TOCA Backstage podcast. Join TOCA's Executive Director, Chris Wolf, in conversations with the artists and people behind the scenes of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation's performances and events.
Hi, this is Chris Wolf, the Executive Director of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation. It is my great honor to have Erin Stoll here from Style Thief Fashion Show, which will be at the Armstrong Theater on March 14th at 8 p.m. Erin, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh my gosh, Chris, I am so happy to be here. Thank you for this opportunity.
So I have to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of these interviews over the past few years, and this is the first time I've actually been concerned about what I was going to wear.
My gosh. Well, I see a blazer and a button down, which I'm surprised we don't match, because if I'm not wearing a denim jacket, I'm usually wearing a blazer. So in my opinion, you nailed it. You look amazing.
Good. So the Style Thief Fashion Show, as I understand it, you talk about, well, why don't you give me your elevator pitch of what the show is?
Yeah. So Style Thief Fashion Show is not really a fashion show in the sense of what people might be thinking in terms of I'm going to sit there and watch a runway show. This is more of a exploration of what personal style means to women in particular. Style Thief Fashion came about when I was starting my career as a stylist and starting a platform on Instagram. I joked with a friend and said, really my whole life, my personal style up to this point has been stealing outfits. I'm the style thief. And that name sort of stuck because it was a way that I explored fashion. I would see outfits in movies and TV and magazines, women in my life, people on the street even. I would say, ooh, I like that. But nothing ever really felt authentically like me. And it took me a long time to really find my own style. And I realized early in my 40s that this is something that women really needed. And what if I could start a conversation and really form my business around, listen, there's so many rules out there about what we're supposed to do and not supposed to do, what's in, what's out. How can I help women free themselves from that in a fun, creative way that's not like what anyone else is doing? I always say I'm not the stylist who's going to tell you what to do. I really want to empower women to break free from the rules that have been holding them back. So that's really what the show is. I'm recording this podcast in my closet right now. This is where I do my own podcast. I share my outfits on Instagram. This is like my happy place. And this show is really just women coming together to say, yeah, how come I can't figure out how to style this shirt? And what is it with jeans anyway? This is the thing I'm struggling with. And how can I make it like a fun exploration of how can we look at some of these rules and see how they might not be working for us? And let me show you some fun ways to unleash what your inner style is really all about.
Amazing. So you actually answered one question that I had, which was, what about the guys?
Yeah. Well, I want the guys there too. I have worked with men as a stylist in my career. At my last show, the very first volunteer that came up was a guy. Listen, this show is for everyone and anyone. I would say a lot of, of course, my perspective as I identify as a woman and the struggles and challenges I've had, I think a lot of women will relate to, but I think a lot of us can relate to the struggle of getting dressed every day. It's something that we have to do. And given everything else we need to do in this life, whatever our careers are, if we're parents, we're caregivers, we're trying to make a difference in the world, I don't want getting dressed to be a barrier for anyone. So if anyone comes to the show and gets something out of it, a little peace of mind or a little answer to their questions, even if it's like, what shoes do I wear? Does my belt and my shoes always have to match? I am happy to help. So it is for everyone, but I will say there's probably mostly going to be women in the audience. So if you're cool with that, then please come to the show.
Yeah, I think it's great. But so now the big question is, do your shoes and belt have to match?
I don't think they do.
Okay.
I really don't. I think it kind of is a question I get a lot is about jewelry. Can I wear silver and gold together? Can I mix metals? I say yes. And I think the same is true for belts and shoes. I have some tips and things that I share. I guarantee this is maybe a question we'll get in the show. I've had it a lot. And I'll show how to bring in other pieces or how to wear it so it doesn't feel awkward. But at the end of the day, if matching your belt and your shoes is what feels best to you, then that's what I want you to do.
Well, and that's, that you brought up a really interesting point early on, which is dressing authentically.
Yeah.
Um, I have been in the performing arts world for longer than I care to remember, and one of the things that strikes me is that you'll see these these rock and roller guys,
Yeah.
and sometimes you'll see them and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that guy's like he's dressed for him." But then you'll see
Mhm.
other people who dress the part, but you can tell that it's not them.
Yes.
How what is that? How do
What
you
is
what's the I guess the magic there that makes somebody be able to pull something like that? I mean, my wife has a cousin who like is the most cool guy and he dresses the part and you just say,
Yeah.
yeah, that fits him. But I know,
Yes.
I guarantee you, if I wore half the stuff he did, I would look like a freaking idiot.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure you would not, but this is so relatable. I mean, I think everyone can relate to seeing someone, or it's someone in your life where it's like, God, every time I see you, your style is just so on point, but I could never. In fact, people will say, I could never pull that off. And they kind of say it as a compliment, but I have come to the conclusion, and I stand by this. I don't think it's a compliment. I think it's like, I would never, but you can. I think what we see when we are recognizing someone's unique personal style, that they have just decided for themselves that this is what they want to wear and they're going to do it. And no matter what we wear, even if we think we're following the rules, or I'm with women in their closets all the time. They're like, "Well, I can't wear skinny jeans anymore." And I'm like, but if you really love them and they work for you and that's what you feel comfortable in, yes, you can. There has to be a point where we say, okay, I have spent all the money, I've done all the things, I've tried all the rules. I don't want to do that anymore. It's exhausting. Like I said in the beginning, we have so many important things to do. When do we get to just free ourselves from what everyone else thinks and what everyone else is doing and just say, I want to dress like a rock star now. Now, sometimes it's easier said than done, Chris. If after this you decided you're going to wear, I don't know, super tight graphic tees and lots of chains. I don't know. Maybe people might be like, "Are you okay?" But I think in your own way, we don't allow ourselves to explore something different for fear of what will my coworkers say? What will my husband say? What will my friends say? And just let ourselves do that. So a big part of my work in my years as a personal stylist, I realized was not about telling women, okay, wear this with this and don't do this and your body shape is this. It was saying, it's okay. What do you want to try? This is a safe space. And that's how I want people to think of this show. Is not me standing up there telling you what to do and I'm fabulous and I have all the answers. It's about helping you come to that conclusion for you and being able to walk out of there being like, okay, you know what? I am going to wear some graphic tees. That's something I'm going to do. And having fun with it again and really doing it for yourself.
Well, that's great, but I still think that there are some people who try that and they just can't pull it off. I mean,
They
it
can't.
doesn't
Yeah.
look authentic to them.
And I think that is, we're seeing from them that they don't really feel sure about that. So that's where the deeper inner work can come from. And oftentimes I've joked and I've said to my husband, do I need to go get like my therapist degree? Because this is, anytime you start to talk about clothes with someone, and anyone can relate to being in a fitting room and being frustrated or trying on a ton of outfits before they go out for a night and just nothing feels right. I think that's the deeper inner work that sometimes we have to do. And yeah, are you putting on a costume? And or is this something that is really truly you? That is why I called myself the style thief. Is like, for years I realized, oh, I was just dressing up. And listen, I have a theater background. I majored in theater. I love this performance aspect. I love playing characters, and the costume is such an important part of that. But in my everyday life, I just want to be me. So there came a point where I was able to work through and kind of let go of some of that, and now just wear what I want. And my sister will still say things to me like, I can't believe you're wearing that. And I'm like, well, okay. Just kind
So
of let it go.
how do you
Yeah.
respond to that? It's like,
Yeah. I just say, okay, move on. Yeah.
yeah, I can't. I mean, couldn't even begin to count the number of times I walk out, ready to go somewhere, and my wife's like, "You're wearing that?"
Oh
But
my God. I know. It's so hard. And when people comment, how do we take that? Sometimes it's more about them. And how do we filter through that and just say, I'm doing it anyway? Sometimes it's a practice. And I talk about this in the show of just saying, okay, I am going to wear this thing and I like my outfit. It's literally one of the things I say. My t-shirt, you can't really see hanging back here, says, I like my outfit. And it's a way to just say that to yourself for yourself without waiting for, a lot of us, we will walk out and we get a lot of compliments and that feels great. It's like, oh, okay, well, I look really good. We don't have to wait for a compliment. We get to say out loud, I like this outfit and I'm just going to wear it because, but it does take some practice. It's not an easy thing because we've really been conditioned to, is this going to look right for my age, for where I live, for my body, for all of those things. And I think the real work in that authenticity is saying, I'm going to show up as me and not worry about what the sister or the wife says, even though it can feel hard. Um, so that's really what I want to help women do, particularly with this show.
And I imagine that social media, the internet, has sort of played a part in
Hmm.
women sort of forming an opinion of, or not just women, people forming an
Yeah.
opinion of what they're supposed to wear, what they're supposed to look like. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I've seen trends come and go, like what was it, the seasons where you're supposed to be in autumn or summer? Is that
Yeah.
still a thing?
It is very much still a thing. Yes. What color season are you in? Uh-huh. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
do these fads and trends I mean, do you address them as far as what you should pay attention to, what you shouldn't?
I try to be careful that I don't make these like sweeping generalizations. And I think a lot of what I see on the internet, Instagram, TikTok, I've got teenage daughters that are just sort of dipping their toe into that. And we're having a lot of conversations about, it's really easy clickbait to look at. Here are the 5 things you should never wear again if you're over 20. And it's like, oh my God, I don't want to be that person, And so it's a lot of like fear based. But I look at the things that my kids are wearing and I'm like, well, that's the stuff I wore in high school, which my mom also said to me back in the 90s. So trends are going to come and go. Things are eventually going to come back around. And I think it's up to us to say, to give ourselves permission to experiment when we want to. I love trying new things and trends. And I have these style guides that I put together that I email out. And one of the big things we're seeing is fur coats. Well, fur coats have been around since, I mean, my husband would say like the Vikings did it first, but they sort of have these surges in popularity again. I have friends that were like, I would never do that. I'll put on a faux fur coat and just try it out and see. But I know not everyone is like that. And I think it's just being discerning enough to say, I'm going to try this. And if it feels great, I'm going to go with it and I'm going to leave the rest. So with those types of what's my color, what season, I try to help women and in the show not say, yes, you are winter and you can only wear these colors and nothing else. I think the real work is like taking what resonates and what you feel good in, um, and really leaving the rest. So I try not to be so absolute in what I'm doing because everyone is so different. If I say I feel really comfortable in a blazer and a button down, someone else may say I would never wear that. So there's no way I'm going to say as a stylist or on Instagram, everyone should have a blazer and a white button down because that might not be the truth for someone.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, it's interesting because I my personal style is very, I guess you could say it's um, more conservative because I do like,
Mhm.
button downs, but it's just interesting to see how people, I gotta, she'll hate me saying this, but I gotta give it to my wife because she always looks so well put together,
Oh,
no
love it.
matter what. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, how do you do that? I mean,
Have you asked her that?
no.
What's her thought? I would just be curious if you go home and say, And she would love that. That's such a great compliment, by the way, especially from a husband. I don't know how many years you have been married, but when my husband does like something I'm wearing, it just makes me feel so good. So bonus points for that. But just to say, you know what? How do you decide? How do you put these things together? And I love asking women that question that I see that I love their style. Um, because it's so personal. And sometimes I think we forget that when we're just trying to march in line and do the right thing, we forget about what we want. And so I would imagine your wife, one of the things she says is like, I feel good in this, I don't feel good in this. And so I stick to those things. And, you know, someone over here might say, oh, I love wearing pastels and frilly dresses, and maybe she doesn't. But I think that's what can set it apart. And it just might be an interesting conversation. And then report back and tell me what she says.
I will, absolutely. So I'm curious, you said you had a theater degree. What inspired you? What was the fork in the road that you became a style uh,
A stylist.
expert?
Yeah. Well, I've always loved style and fashion and getting dressed. My mom took me shopping when I was a week old, and that was really our sport. Um, I think, you know, then getting into performance and theater and getting to be around amazing costumes and seeing them be made, um, getting to wear different things for different characters. And throughout my life, I had a lot of people that I really looked up to. My Aunt Rhonda, she was like my big sister. I don't have a big sister. I'm the oldest in my family. She was, you know, kind of like little sister, big sister. I wanted to wear everything she wore. So I was always really interested in that. And I remember, um, as soon as I got my first like adult job, I moved to Chicago after I graduated. I was going to try out theater, and then I don't know, I got a little busy like working and shopping and dating and living the single girl in the city life. But I subscribed to Vogue like with my first paycheck, and I still get it to this day. Just the artistry of fashion and the creativity and the using it as a self-expression, it was another creative outlet for me. And you know, in the early aughts, when everyone was blogging, I did have the idea to start a blog, but then I had kids and that kind of took a lot of my time. But then when I hit 40, and for a lot of people, that decade is a really important one where I realized I was really just trying too hard with my wardrobe, and I was spending a lot of money trying to kind of get it right and follow the rules. And I looked in my closet one day and I thought, okay, well, when I want to be this person, there's these clothes. When I want to be this person, there's these clothes. But what about me and what do I want? And it was a real pivotal moment for me. And I had always been that sort of friend that people would come to for style advice, or can I borrow this? Or I'm going on my honeymoon, Erin, help me shop, help me pack, just as a natural thing that I did. And I had this week around the holidays where I had someone at my house every night that I was helping get ready for like a holiday party or a trip. And my husband said, are you charging these friends for this? And I said, no, they're my friends. But my friend was standing there. She goes, oh, I would pay for this. And I said, do you think other people would? And she said, absolutely. And so it just sort of evolved. I started working with friends and word of mouth, and I put myself on Instagram as sort of a way to market my approach to style and what I did. And that community really grew. And then fast forward, my friend Billy, who I know from my high school days, came to me and said, you know, I feel like what you do could be a show. There's not anything like this. Like, where do women of a certain age, or men, anyone, go where they can be entertained, have someone to share their story, but then you help them? Like, you know, he has a show where people put in requests and that's how they build their show and they tell their personal stories. You could do the same thing with fashion. And so that's how this show evolved. And I'm so grateful and excited because I love connecting with people everywhere I go. And just if I can make people feel a little less like they have to try so hard and just relax into being themselves when they get dressed, it's a dream come true. And, you know, getting to be on a stage again feels really great. But heck, I would do this if there were 50 people outside in my bedroom that just wanted to come in this closet. I would do the same thing. So it's just an absolute thrill.
That's amazing that you're able to take your passion and and
Yeah.
share it with people on the stage. That's
Yeah.
and just for our audience who may not know it, when you mentioned Billy, I'm assuming it's Billy McGuigan from
Yeah.
Yesterday and Today, who's we've had their show a couple of times
Yes.
at the Armstrong, and he is an amazing performer and a really nice
Yes.
guy.
Great, great band.
So I'm curious what I kind of got a sense, but what do you hope people walk away with from your
Mm.
show?
It's it's such a fun night. This I set the tone immediately. I have a very carefully curated playlist of my favorite 80s and 90s songs. I think the name Style Thief Fashion Show, I don't want that to deter people from thinking, well, I'm not into fashion. This is a night out. I think it's as I've gotten older, it's really hard to find those fun things that are different. I mean, we can go to concerts, but sometimes it's like, you're spending $600 on a concert ticket. It's loud, it's loud in there now. We can go to a movie, but I want something that feels different, that feels interactive. So this is where I say bring your friends, bring your sister, bring your coworkers, get dressed up, whatever that means to you. And literally anything goes. If Chris, you can wear your rock star outfit to this show. Okay. In fact, I would love to see that. Um,
Well, just to put
just
everyone's mind at ease, I will not be wearing my rock star
you'll
outfit.
not wear his rock star. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
have one, but
Okay. Okay. Well, I better see you in a sharp blazer and a button down. That's amazing. I mean, I'll probably be wearing a blazer too. Just a night to get dressed up, go out to dinner before, come and see the show, and then tell me what you want help with. Like, what is the thing that when you were getting ready tonight to come out, because I know when a woman's going to go out, they're in their closet, they're panicking, they're sweating. Things they thought they were going to wear suddenly don't fit, or it doesn't feel right, or it's too cold, or it's too hot. You've got everything in your closet on your floor. So you're going to come home to a mess. And then you just put on the same old thing. Like, I understand the mental gymnastics. What can I do to make it easier for you? And we're going to bring you up on stage. If you want, people will self select if they just have a question that they want me to sort of answer from the stage, or if they want to come up and say, okay, let me put this jacket on you. Let's roll up the sleeves. I have a necklace here. Ooh, let's get a bag. What if we switch out? I will style you right there and answer those questions so that you feel like, okay, I've got some tools in my style toolbox. The other thing I always tell women is that's what I'm sharing. I'm sharing tools, not rules. So I hope you come and just for the fun of it, explore what questions you might have or just watch as it unfolds. And then if, a half hour into the show, you're like, okay, I have a question. I want to know, come on up. It's a very safe space. It's very positive and cool environment. It's very casual. I'm going to share my story, but listen, if someone wants to shout out how frustrated they are with the whole jeans rules, I'm with you. Like, I just want this to be a really fun, empowering night where when you walk out of there, you say, huh, that was something different. I learned something, and tomorrow I'm going to try something new when I get dressed.
perfect, perfect. So you've mentioned it a couple times, and I
Mhm.
guess I'm an idiot. What is the jeans rule?
Oh, there's so many rules about jeans. I will say, men really, you have such an advantage because the way you, with your sizing of jeans, with a waist measurement and an inseam measurement. So, from a young age, you knew that you were I don't know, 34, 34. That's my husband's. That's why I use an example. He's very tall. It's hard to find jeans that are long enough. But for women, it's different. Sometimes jeans are sized with a number, like a 12. Sometimes they're sized with small, medium, large. Sometimes it's a waist measurement, like 31. And we're left to our own devices to just figure it out. So what happens is we go in a fitting room, we take a bunch of jeans, maybe pair A fits. The second pair, it says the number is the same, but this one, I can't even get up past my thighs. So then we feel bad about ourselves and think, well, this must be a me problem, but it's not. And so especially with jeans, I really became a jeans expert because I was so frustrated. I love denim. I love denim jackets. I love jeans, but I was so frustrated with how come this pair fits in this store. And then I walked across the street and this pair doesn't fit in this store. So breaking down, what is it? What do I need to know? What tools can I arm you with so that when I walk into a fitting room, I know, oh, well, this store, these jeans are really, really stretchy. So I can usually be this size, but in this store over here, they're not very stretchy. So I'm going to do this. So I just love breaking it down and helping people feel really empowered to say, I know my measurements. I know how to look for this online. It's not me, it's the clothes. So, and with jeans, you know, the rules change all the time. Skinny jeans, long jeans, bell bottoms, they're in, they're out. We're going to get rid of all that and just help women figure out what they want to wear.
That's amazing. That's great. I would really, as a guy, I would really be curious to know, why is it that one thing fits in one thing in one from one maker and one thing does not fit, even though it's the same size. What's
Uh-huh.
wrong? I mean, it's like chargers for your phone. It's like, come up with
Yes.
one set of the
Yes.
thing and keep it.
Yes. Yes. It's so frustrating, right? I mean, there's so many factors that we could get into, and it's, you know, one of the reasons I love doing this show. It opens these discussions to say, like, um, it's a marketing game. There's vanity sizing. You know, some stores really use that. So they're going to say, "Oh, this is a 6 or an 8, but it's really sized more like a 12 or a 14." Okay, fine. But that just causes more confusion up here, and women in particular, I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men, but from my own experience, and I primarily work with women as a stylist, it can do a lot of damage when you are trying to just find something that fits you, and there are no stores that carry that size. It's an accessibility issue. A lot of it comes down to fabric. So I do talk about that. It seems, once you learn it, it seems like, oh, I should have been paying attention to this. But sometimes we don't question what the trends are, what the stores are giving us, or what's coming out. So we don't even think to look at that. And then we feel bad when we try on a pair of Levi's that are 100% cotton, very rigid denim, and we have to go up 3 sizes. It's just a fabric thing. So that there's so many factors to it. And I do think, I really try to educate people and how to know what your measurements are. So when you go online or you go into a store, I have tape measures, and those will be available to everyone there, because I always say, just be the weirdo who's like measuring the inseam in the store, so that you know, because once you know your numbers, all of this becomes so much easier. It's just really taking our power back against the whole machine. And that there's a Picasso quote that I love that I think really, in essence, captures how I approach personal style. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. So once you know, oh, these jeans in the store don't even fit me, I'm not even going to go in there. These jeans, like for instance, I love men's Levi's jeans. So I'm going to wear that. No one cares. No one knows. Um, and that's just what has worked for me. And it's really freed me from trying to fit into whatever one else is doing. So, um, you can tell I'm passionate. I could talk about this all day.
Oh, that's amazing. I appreciate it. So come to the Armstrong Theater on March 14th,
Yes,
everybody,
please.
and walk away with a renewed sense of self and fashion. And we are so looking forward to hosting you, Erin. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. Oh, I cannot wait. I've heard so many great things about your theater. I've loved watching your podcast. I just watched the one with the ladies from Manhattan Transfer, and I've loved them for so long. So it's such a thrill, to just be able to come there. I can't wait to see your space and meet the people in your community. It's going to be a really fun night.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's do it. If I'm gonna wear leggings, I don't want to look like they know I don't work out too. So it's like,
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Never have I ever canceled plans because I didn't like my outfit. Who cares if you're wearing leggings? Who cares if you're just running errands? Or who cares if no one's going to see you that day? When you came in tonight, we asked you to share some of your biggest style rules. No black on black, white pants after Labor Day, cover your legs after 40. I'm 4'11" and dressing and styling myself is so hard. Don't show bra straps. I have never once looked at a woman that bra strap is sticking out. She's doing it wrong. I brought just a couple things from my closet. Never have I ever squeezed myself into shapewear, taken off that shapewear and thrown it in the bathroom garbage on my way out. We have a jeans question! Who said no denim on denim? Who said that? Your numbers do not define you. Your height does not get to limit what you get to wear. And once you've cleared the way, you can see yourself. I'm Erin Stoll. This was Style Thief Fashion Show.